All in audio experience.
We are on.
All right. Welcome to the All In Audio Experience, everybody.
What up?
I got my graphic designer and friend here, Shamar, or
Hi.
Mars, as the cool kids call it.
Mars. So Mars. Um, so just tell us about yourself and like your graphic designing. Um, you are a creative, and we have seen a lot of your work, and we think it's beautiful work. So, what got you into graphic design?
So, it started off with a crazy boy band obsession when I was in
Mm.
middle school.
You was a One Directioner?
No,
No.
it
A
was
little
a
bit
group
funny.
called B5 or whatever,
Oh,
and I was like really obsessed with them. So there was like an online community where all the fans would like talk to each other, and sometimes they would come on there and
Okay.
talk to us. And each profile they had like it had something called a signature. And so there would be like graphics and stuff on there. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Like you can make these on a computer. And then that's kind of how I fell in love with graphic design. So I've been doing it ever since that. And then I'm from Georgia and I moved to Huntsville when I was in high school. And so I've just been here ever since.
What high school you went to?
I went to Johnson.
J.O.
Johnson. She was
Yeah, I
with
went to
them, baby. She was
JOJ.
with them.
Hey,
Okay.
don't talk about my mom's high school like that.
Your mom went there too?
That's my
She
mama high
did go
school
there.
too. So
Yep.
I'm way.
The greats come from there. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Roughnecks.
That's true.
What you say? The
The greats do come from there.
Okay, so that's pretty dope. So the group is called B5.
Yeah, I don't know if they're still active.
Were they like a cult classic type of group? Were they like low key? Because I mean, like I know like there was NSYNC and stuff back in the day. Or
My
They
like,
sister
were
was the huge fan. I think they
NSYNC.
era
Oh, okay.
B5. Who else was out?
Chris
B2K.
Brown.
Chris
Was
Brown
out.
was coming.
Okay,
He
I
had
remember
just started out.
B2K.
Yeah.
So B5 and B2K is different. Like Fizz and them wasn't in this.
Yeah, I think B2K was kind of coming to an end around that time because I think they
Mm.
broke up in like 2006.
Okay,
Maybe
okay. So
before
they was
that.
black.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. There were some light skinned brothers.
Dang, so you know these folks? I've never heard of them.
Because my sister was a fanatic, so it
For
was
real?
like
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Were you big into like pop culture or
Like music wise.
music wise or just in general? Because I mean, like I feel like I had that younger period too, where I just like surfed the internet and was just into a bunch of different stuff on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So paint us a picture. Like, what were you into like around this period? Because I feel like this is like what set the base for like your artistry. You know what I'm saying?
Well, around that time I was already like really into computers and stuff,
Okay.
and I would play The Sims a lot. So that was one of my favorite games back
hey,
then.
that's my favorite.
Yeah, and then I've always been really interested in music. So like I really love music. I think music is such a good way to express yourself, and
Mhm.
so that's why music really inspires my creativity.
Yeah.
So so just being into technology and music itself, kind of that's what got me started in that stuff. So
Okay, okay. So as far as your graphic design goes, right now, what are some of the things that you got? You just started back. So okay, so you started back. Why did you stop? And then what got you back going into the graphic design?
I was in college. I think there was just a lot of lack of inspiration when I was in college, and then the program that we had for graphic design, it wasn't the best program, so I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go in. And then I remember sitting in my dorm room bed thinking like, I'm not making food labels when I graduate. I'm not doing this.
That is
So,
weak.
Yeah.
right, and so
Okay.
I remember thinking what am I gonna do after I graduate?
Yeah.
Like what direction am I gonna go in? So then I graduated, and then I didn't really have much luck finding the job that I wanted in graphic design. It was no after no after no, and it made me feel like really discouraged as far as my creativity goes. So I started doing photography just to kind of make up for it and trying to learn as much as I can. And then earlier this year, I kept telling myself, I'm going to buy me an iPad and I'm gonna do this, this, that, and the third. And if I do this, I don't have a choice but to get back into graphic design. And so that's kind
Mhm.
of what happened this year. So I started. I was just like, I might as well just give it a chance and see how it turns out. And then I started doing it that way.
Okay,
So
okay. So where did you graduate from?
Jacksonville State
Hey,
University.
go Gamecocks.
Boo. No, I'm just
Woo. Okay, I'm done. But okay, that's pretty dope. So you said there was only like it was like real limited as far as graphic design, like coming out of there. All they had was like food like labels. What did you mean by that?
Well, I was just being ignorant at the time, but I didn't really know what what industry I wanted to do graphic design in. Because
Okay.
there's so many different ways you can do it.
Okay.
People making food labels, or you can be like an architecture graphic designer. So there's so many different things, but I just didn't know what that thing was for me. So
And
it
I
was very
feel
confusing for me.
I feel that. Like what year is this? Cause I know like now like the field is like kind of blown up
Oh yeah,
way more.
yeah.
Like it's in right now, you know what I'm saying?
hmm
mhm.
What year was this?
This was in this. I think this was in 2012 or 13, and it's funny because I think on my last semester there, Jacksonville, they started getting better professors and they started building a solid program. I was like, dang,
Hmm.
like I
Yeah.
could have just waited to go to college and then apply
Yeah.
and been in
Yeah.
that program.
That's how it be for real.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's
So
pretty dope.
what would you say was missing? Like, what would you say? Were there not enough opportunities? Did they provide y'all with ways to get internships type deals? Like, what was missing?
Um, that's a good question. For me personally, it was just a lack of inspiration, just
Hmm.
feeling lost and confused because like there were so many different things I could do with it. So I think it was just a lack of inspiration for me.
Okay,
So.
okay, okay.
So I guess getting out of college, what when did you start like the finding yourself process? Like what kind of led you to I don't know, getting back to like doing things that you like really enjoy doing? Because you said you just kind of stopped for a while.
mhm. Um, like what got me back into it?
I don't know, because I guess after I graduated, I felt like the college period, like I was just like kind of kind of lost, and so I was like
hmm
found myself going in a direction because I had to, not because I wanted to type thing. So I guess like what were some of the things that kind of I felt like there was things that I did that whether it would be like hooping or something that I did when I was younger that I actually enjoyed doing that kind of started me back on the path of like okay like I'm getting back to me type stuff. Like what
hmm
was some of the stuff you started doing?
For me personally, I started doing some soul searching.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't feel like I knew who I was, and then I started going to therapy, and so that helped me like really understand myself as a person.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I wasn't the most confident person in my creativity, so it just taught me a lot of self love, and then I started focusing on that, and that's what helped me get back into it.
Mm,
That's
So
dope. I
mm.
feel like therapy is
it's the best thing in the world.
really
Everybody should go to therapy.
that's what my mom said. Like she was like more like, especially like she said, you need to go to therapy. And I was like, I don't need therapy. But she was like, it's not a
hmm
bad thing, but like more black people, like people in the black community should like try therapy. I feel like on
hmm
both sides of the thing. So I think that's pretty dope.
But why do you think that is? Like, people don't want to go. You know?
Cause people have this stigma of like either there's something wrong with you, you gotta do
hmm
something, or this, that, and the other. And the reality
hmm
is we all fucked up. So that's not even something you should even be worried about. But we all, because white folks go to therapy like it ain't nothing. You know what
Exactly.
I'm
Like, why can't we go?
saying? So
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a bunch of different reasons. You ask somebody something, they'll give you 16,000. But at the end of the day, it's your ego. I feel like it's the ego. I feel
Yeah.
like most people just feel like they ain't got to go to therapy. They ain't got to go. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever
Exactly.
reason.
And
Whatever
there's
reason.
Exactly.
yeah, there's that stigma attached to it for sure. Like, you're crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we all crazy. Like if you talk to most people, they do something that's pretty weird and out there. If you talk to them long enough, you know what I'm saying. And you got to get through the day half the time. But it's not even that deep. I
Like
feel
even
like.
with therapy, like not only does it help you understand yourself, but it helps you understand behaviors in other people
Mm.
Mhm.
that'll prevent you from having like toxic relationships and stuff.
Yeah.
So once you do it, you're able to identify those things and
Mm.
then create the necessary boundaries to have a healthier life. So it's
Boundaries.
not just about yourself, but just being better towards other people.
I
So it's
read
a
this
lot into
book
it.
called The Four Agreements, and one of the big lessons in that book is like realizing that whatever somebody else does is not has nothing to do with you. Like it's not
Hmm.
something to be taken personally or anything in the world. Like say it better. Like if somebody says something to you, what they're saying is completely a reflection of them. Like it
Mm.
has
Hmm.
nothing to do with you. It has like nothing at all to do with you. And like when you start like looking at stuff that way, you can walk through your day and realize the only person you got to worry about is you.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So
That's true.
That's so real. So boundaries. So I talked to you before, and you said you were reading this book
Hmm.
called The Boundaries. So kind of tell us what that is about so far. Have you started? You got into it yet?
I'm not done with the book, but
I'm weird.
the person that wrote the book, he what he did was write out all these different scenarios and stuff, and then he identified the issue in each one, and then kind of broke it down. And so when he did it that way, it was easier for me to reflect on it. So that made it easier to understand, like when you see other people's situation, and then see a psychologist kind of break it down and see what the issue is,
Mhm.
how you can relate to it. And then he put like scriptures and stuff in it. So I'm not done with the book. I use it as a guide, but I'm not
Yeah,
done with it. My therapist,
Mm.
she's always like, "Have you finished the book?" I'm like, "No," but I use it as a guide.
I feel it. I
So
feel it.
That's cool. So, okay, what happened with? So you said you're from Georgia. Are you from, Atlanta? You from Cobb County? Which one you claiming? And how did you end up in Huntsville?
You from zone
uh,
6.
West Atlanta? You from the West End?
I don't think it was there. Well, actually, I think
Why you
this
hating on
way.
the West End like that?
No.
That's
So
where
I
where I
was
was.
I was born in Atlanta, and then me and my mom we lived in Marietta. And then we moved to Ackworth, but I was going to school in Marietta. So I claimed Cobb County because I was back and forth between Ackworth and Marietta.
Okay.
And then in 2000, I think it was 2006 or 7, my grandfather passed away, and we found out that my grandmother had Alzheimer's. So we moved here to Huntsville to take care of my grandmother, and she passed away in 2015. So it was really all about just taking care of family. That's why we came here in the first place, and we've been here ever since. And I'm trying to get out.
I'm
The
weird.
whole.
You trying to get out of Alabama
Yeah.
like that? Me too.
Alabama's not bad. I mean,
it's it's not as bad as you thought it would be when you
yeah,
first
I'm on
got
Gucci
here.
side. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something like that. Gucci don't even claim it for real, but Alabama is it's something different. It's a different experience.
It is. Alabama taught me a lot. Like I always say, like Georgia raised me, but Alabama taught me everything I needed to know
Mm,
in life. So I
Uh,
learned a lot here.
that's cool to think
so,
about.
do you see yourself trying to move back to Atlanta necessarily, or somewhere else?
I wouldn't mind living in like New York or California, but I really miss Atlanta. I have friends and family there, and it just feels like home every time I go there. So I feel comfortable there, and it's already a big city. So
Mhm.
if I move back to Atlanta, I would have to find a place in the city because I'm not about to commute back and forth in that traffic.
Yeah, that
It's
traffic
not gonna
is
happen.
Oh, then
crazy.
how you want to live in New York? New York, like
You can just walk to the store. You ain't gotta have a
The
car.
transit
it
is
The
sound
different though.
trains and
good.
stuff.
It sound good.
Atlanta is so different. Like this, it moves it's faster, but they aren't on like the transit system that New York is on. They don't walk places. It's just
Bro,
like
but I'm telling you right now, like it sounds good, but it's still gonna take you an hour to get somewhere for real. Like if you try to
Exactly.
go anywhere in New York though, that's what I'm like. New York is cool because I always thought I wanted to live there as a kid too. Until like I went up there like with family a couple times, and I was like, it's fun,
Hmm.
but I don't know, it's just a lot.
mm,
It's just a lot. But I feel it. I feel like living somewhere like that for a little while might be fun too though.
mhm.
Hmm.
So what's let's say the differences from like being in Georgia and then coming here? What was some of the differences in I guess kind of how you was brought up? You know what I'm saying? Like school wise, what was some changes that happened for you?
Oh God. For me, it was a culture shock for me because the community that I grew up in when I lived in Georgia, it was more of like a diverse community. And when I moved to Huntsville and I went to Johnson, I was kind of shocked because I wasn't expecting to have the experiences that I did in school.
Mm,
But I think for me, just Huntsville being a smaller city, I didn't really like that because when I lived in Georgia and there was a concert, you could just go right to Atlanta. People don't really come here as often as they used to.
Mhm.
Back when we had the Black Arts Festival, then people did came here, but
Yep.
I think I don't know. It's just a different community for
So
me.
you were you going to like concerts like at a young age then when you was in Georgia?
Yeah, what?
Like you said, you could just like go to a concert. Like you were just able to go and like see like some of these shows. For real? Oh, that's
Well, my
dope.
mama would take me. I had to ask for permission first, but
Oh, that's
uh,
dope. What's just give us one.
uh, take a good guess.
Mm,
B5.
B5.
But
B5.
they're
Oh,
not the
okay.
only ones that I've seen.
Okay.
I went to
Mm-mm-mm.
this one concert. They had like a whole bunch of different people. I don't remember, but it was a lot of big celebrities at the time.
I got you. I got
Yeah.
you. It was too little
So
though to really like. I got you. I got you.
mm,
Oh, that's dope
Ooh.
for real. That's some stuff that like you just kind of you keep them images in your head though. I
yeah,
feel it.
You was at the concerts early.
it sure
Facts.
is.
Oh man. Okay. So, all right, let's get back to the graphic
Oh
design.
yeah, I
Let's
did.
get back.
We
Let's
did kind
roll
of get just
back.
get all off track.
But so what is your goal with the graphic design? What is the goal?
Um, I want to have my own graphic design firm one day. That would
Okay.
be pretty cool. My dream is to do graphic design in the music entertainment industry because that's kind of how I started out.
So like albums or like just marketing campaigns, like what,
Yeah,
like what,
yeah, both
both?
albums, marketing
Okay.
campaigns, and then I'm starting off small now, but as time goes on, I'll keep adding more services. So eventually, it'll become something big.
Do you see
Mm.
yourself like being like versatile, like whatever they throw at you, like maybe you could change, or do you see yourself like having a signature style that you want to be like when people see it? That's Shamar.
Um,
That's Mars.
That's Mars.
uh, I plan on having a signature style, but I think I can be versatile with it because I know
Okay.
how to change it up and still keep it consistent.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
what I'll do.
We're gonna be on the lookout.
Yep. So right now, where are you at in that process? Because I know you just started back, and so what got you? So we kind of talked about it. You like found yourself, but what moment really like turned it back on? Like, okay, I'm gonna get back to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened?
There was a lot of moments like that. I think when I turned 28, I was like, I'm about to be 30. Like I gotta, I gotta figure something out. So that was kind of like the turning point for me. But I've always said I wanted my own clothing line, and
Mm-hmm.
that was earlier this year. So I didn't really have a choice but to get back into it because I shouldn't. I'm not gonna pay anybody else to do any designs for my clothing line if I can just do it myself. So I started playing around with it, and then I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. I could really start this back up again.
Okay.
So.
So you said the clothing line.
Mhm.
Okay. So what style of clothes you be into?
I really like graphic T-shirts. You know how you go
Okay.
to places like Forever 21, and all
Mm-hmm.
the girls have like cuts and like see-through T-shirts and stuff, and I'm like, I don't
Hmm.
want to wear this.
Hmm.
But the guys have all the nice T-shirts with the cool graphics and stuff like this. So I want to have something where like both can have something dope instead of it just being one style for a certain gender.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Me and my friend were just actually talking about this because we were wondering why, and it was like I don't know, like we were wondering why like girls never have like cool hoodies or whatever,
Mhm.
and it was like I don't know, they y'all don't get, or I guess the manufacturers don't get like edgy with y'all stuff. They
Mhm.
kind of keep it like I
Try to
don't
keep
know.
it
Just like
feminine type.
the stereotypical look, and like all the crop tops and stuff. I'm like, I don't want to wear that.
Yeah.
I want like a cool T-shirt like the one I got on now. So.
Hmm. You should pursue that because I feel like people are really stepping outside the box now. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And there's a demand for it. So
That's true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's
I